Well, let's get you more now on that story. I'm joined live from Monrovia by CGTN's Robert Nagila. Robert, how are election preparations going right now?
Well, a very good afternoon, Karen, from Liberia's capital, Monrovia. Now, the Electoral Commission here is cautiously optimistic that it has everything in place to conduct this presidential rerun scheduled for Tuesday. However, it's been very difficult trying to get a word out of them over the last couple of days because of a controversy surrounding the electoral register. The Supreme Court held the spokesman of the Electoral Commission in contempt for contradicting it on this electoral register. Now, it had said that it had ordered the Electoral Commission to clean it up, yet the very next day the spokesman went on a local radio station saying that it had already been cleaned up. So he was held in contempt for 2 days. He's been released now, and as I say, the Electoral Commission is optimistic cautiously that everything is in place for this poll. Now, we do expect a briefing from them anytime, but today or tomorrow on the eve of the election itself. Karen?
34-year-old Musa Kamara is one of more than 2 million registered voters in Liberia, hoping to make their voices heard through the ballot. On Tuesday, Liberians go back to the ballot in a runoff election to elect a new president barely 2 months after the general election. The rerun poll should have been held in November, but the result was challenged in court by Charles Bramskin, who came third in the first round. Kamara has come to the polling station he registered to confirm his name is on the voters list. But after almost 20 minutes...
No, I didn't find my name yet. And I've checked around the whole roster. I didn't find my name.
Others are luckier. Within seconds of his arrival, 57-year-old Neil Dore finds his name. He is confident of a large turnout on election day.
Yes, it will be. People will come out to vote. Some people never voted in the first round.
This is one of the polling stations in the capital, Monrovia. Now, the Electoral Commission has posted a list of all the registered voters eligible to take part in the election on Tuesday. However, for many people we've spoken to, they just want this political process over and done with. Many of them say all they're interested in is what the next president will do for this country.
Anyone can win. We want God to help us to get a good leader. But whoever wins, our children should go to school, there should be peace, and we should be free to move around.
Education and help to the poor people, women, men, children, and especially those living on the street.
Back at the polling station, more people arrive to confirm their names are on the voters' list. For Kamara, though, his name is missing. He refuses to give up.
I have to come and check on the election day and give them my ID and show it to them. Maybe they get another roster, I don't know.
His resolve, a testament to the determination of Liberians to see their country succeed. Robert Nagila, CGTN, Monrovia, Liberia.
Well, thank you for that report, Robert. Can you tell us a little more about the two candidates and what they're offering the people of Liberia?
Absolutely. Well, on the one hand, you've got Joseph Boakai, the current vice president who served under Ellen Johnson, the current president who's now departing from her position. However, there's a rift between the two of them. This rift appears to date back to the beginning of these campaigns, and both sides have been pointing fingers at each other. Now, Mr. Boakai says that he is best placed to lead this country, saying that with all these connections he's made over the last 12 years, he will be able to bring in investment to rejuvenate the economy and, of course, make sure that there is enough employment for all Liberians. On the other side, you've got George Weah, former international footballer who's very popular amongst the youth in this country. It's his third time trying for this seat, and he says that one of the first things he's going to do is first look at the social status of all Liberians, I beg your pardon. He's going to make sure that there is adequate employment for them. And he also says that because of his connections on the international scene, he will bring in investment to ensure that not only jobs are available for the people, he's going to do something about the country's infrastructure. He's going to look at the health sector, which was badly affected by the Ebola virus a couple of years ago, and says that he will do something about the economy, and that in a few years, Liberians will be able to realize his efforts here as president.
And Robert, this has been a drawn-out process. How hopeful are Liberians that the election season will soon be over?
Well, to be honest with you, yesterday we went around a few of the polling stations where a lot of the people, as you saw in that package a short time ago, were looking for their names on the register. We did manage to speak to quite a number of them, and really most of them are just tired. It's been about 3 months of campaigns, political rallies, and people say that they just want to get back with their lives. At this stage, there's a lot of them who are saying, look, it doesn't really matter who wins this race. All we're interested in is what they're going to do for the people of this country and for the country itself. So, but you do also have the hardcore supporters who are really pushing for their candidates. At this particular moment, judging by the first round, it does appear that it's a very close race. So hopefully by early Wednesday, we should have a clear indication of who the next president of Liberia, either George Weah or Joseph Boakai, will be.
Okay,
Karen?
Thank you very much for that update. That was Robert Nagila there, CGTN's correspondent in Monrovia, the capital of Liberia.